What's going on? This is your boy, All Logic, No Emotion. I'm back with another video. I want to talk about Dillon Gabriel and how the Cleveland Browns, the moment that they took Shedeur Sanders, that was the end of his NFL career, as far as attempting to be a starter. I don't think they planned to take Shedeur. I don't think anybody expected Shedeur to fall to the 5th round. But I do think they plan to take the Browns wanted Dillon Gabriel, for sure. I do think that's real. But I also think that when Dillon got drafted, I think he probably was under the mindset that the Browns weren't gonna double dip at quarterback. I don't even think the Browns knew that they were gonna do that. Because you heard the GM say that Shedeur was more of a value pick. So I don't know if Dillon thought, and to be honest, I don't even think any of them thought, because the Cleveland Browns is just so dysfunctional. But I don't think anybody thought Shedeur was seeing the field this season with the way the quarterback depth chart was set up in the fall. I mean, spring. Well, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, at the 1 and 2, and Dillon at 3. And Shedeur was the 4th string quarterback. And then Deshaun Watson is on IR, from the Achilles injury. So nobody expected, Shedeur to be a Cleveland Brown. But that just shows you the dysfunction of the organization, because the same Kevin Stefanski who appears to be sabotaging Shedeur, he sabotaged Dillon Gabriel as well. Because if you want to be honest, the worst thing you could do to a rookie quarterback that you bring in, especially when you bring in multiple, is bring in a guy that you as an organization, in the back of your mind, y'all know that he's better than your guy, Dillon Gabriel, which is the 3rd round pick. You know Shedeur is better. You know that. And you knew that the entire time. And it got confirmed in practices. And it's getting confirmed right now. So, y'all knew that. So, and y'all hit him and kind of tried to, push him to the side as if, he's just, some developmental quarterback, when the real developmental quarterback is the guy you took in the 3rd round, because he was a developmental fucking prospect. When you look at his college tape, from UCF to Oklahoma to Oregon, if you look at his college tape, you clearly see this guy gets out to his left or to his right, mostly to his left because he's left-handed, and he makes the throws, and obviously in college they're wide open. He's throwing to wide open guys, and I don't see how teams get tricked by that, because there was nothing Dillon Gabriel did in college in any of his years, because people look at raw numbers. They look at 30 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in his last 2 college seasons, and he had 27 and 8 at UCF and some other seasons like that. And they got tricked into thinking, okay, this guy has a bunch of experience, he's going to do well in the NFL, without understanding he can know the game, but knowing the game and then going out there executing the offense and what's asked of him and Kevin Stefanski offense, bootleg, get on the run, be able to make plays in the seam and short the intermediate, a lot of bootleg action, a lot of play action. You got to be able to push the ball down the field when asked. What in the right mind did the Browns see in Dillon Gabriel to say, we're going to take you in the 3rd round, knowing he can't push the ball down the field, knowing in college he clearly struggled to push the ball down the field, and he's a half field quarterback. He could barely see over the line in the NFL, and as you can see, with his 6 starts that he went 1 and 5 in, people will look at the 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and be like, okay, that's good, right? On paper, yeah, a casual fan would say yes, but watch the games. Like he threw for 900 some yards, I think, in those 6 games. But his average completion per attempt was like 5 yards. So if you're not pushing the ball down the field, you're not going to get first downs. You're not going to move the offense down the field. So how are you scoring? Which is why the Browns offense struggled for the games he was in, even when Joe Flacco was in, struggling. If you're not pushing the ball down the field, or you're either afraid to, which I think a little part of that has something to do with it, and he can't. He's not physically capable, and that's a lot to do with it. So, and I think a lot of what Dillon Gabriel was dealing with was the fact that Shador was behind his back. And he knows in his mind that Shador is the better quarterback. But as a man, and this is for all men out there, and even most women, you're a competitor. You don't think nobody's better than you. In reality, you don't think nobody's better than you. But mentally, you know that person's better than you. You see this person in practice, and you see him spinning it up and down the field, and how accurate he is, and it's just not you. So that's what I think that happened. His confidence is gone. His confidence been gone for a while, because it was like when you hearing the fans, you hearing people on social media, they calling for you. They on your ass saying that replace him. Why Shador not in the game? That gets to you, especially as a young quarterback. It's your first year in the league, and you just trying to establish yourself, and then you got these people coming for you and stuff like that. I mean, how are you supposed to feel? I'm just saying. But they don't think about stuff like that when all right, my bad, y'all. Got a message. But like I was saying, here's the thing. What do you expect for him to do? You put him in a bad predicament and expected him to perform. And then the offense and defense, the D-line lacks they need another run stopper. They need another pass rusher. They need some safety help. They need a linebacker in the middle. They need offensive line help all across the line. They need a wide receiver. They need to sign one in free agency. They need to get a wide receiver. They have so many issues across the team that it's kind of like, it's impossible for anybody to succeed playing for this team. They're very talented. Don't get it twisted, but they have holes, and somebody like Dillon Gabriel with his limited skill set needs to be supported. He's not on the right team to be with that skill set. Now, somebody that like Shador, who can avoid pressure, and sometimes he goes the wrong way. He takes a bad sack. But he can push the ball down the field. He knows when to throw the ball away. Sometimes. But he has that it factor. He has that ball placement, that accuracy. He has everything you need in an NFL quarterback, and that what's lacking in Dillon Gabriel. But that's the problem, is that they never took that into consideration, and that's why I say that they definitely shook Dillon Gabriel's confidence the moment they took Shador, because I mean, anybody with a brain and eyes and you ain't got to watch football to know that this Shador is better all across the board. So yeah, I mean, that's why I stand with it, and all I can say is that I think Dillon Gabriel he deserves another chance, at least to compete with a more established team and be a backup. Either that or, San Francisco, for example. Go back up Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? If Mac Jones leave. Who else? Seattle. Like organizations like that. He could go be a backup and and get, if he needs to, start, he can start in spots, you know what I'm saying? He can build a career like that. And, I do think he would make a good coach one day. But I do feel bad for him because I feel like, yeah, while he didn't perform when he was in the game, I also felt like the Browns did him no favors the way they just left him out to dry like that, man. Because if you're gonna take two quarterbacks, that means you clearly don't truly 100% buy into the first one. So bad organizations do stupid shit, and this is the result of it. And the fact that they're talking about bringing in another rookie quarterback next year, possibly, allegedly, which I don't think they should. They got to learn patience. Develop the guys that you have. You keep bringing in all these guys to compete, and what you're doing is that you're sending the wrong message to the guys that you took this year that you're not good enough. We're going to go back in college and get another guy that may not be good enough. You're going to keep repeating the same thing, and you're going into a draft where these guys aren't they really aren't NFL ready, if you want to be honest with you. I mean, all the guys that that they were looking into, Cade Klubnik, okay, you got Fernando Mendoza, and you got a couple other guys that Dante Moore. These guys are not sure things. You got game taking film on Shador Dillon, and you even got Deshaun Watson, guaranteed $46 million for the next 2 years. So what the fuck is y'all doing? The last thing y'all need to be doing is using those first round picks on the quarterback. The thing y'all need to be doing is building that team. Now, if neither one of the guys, perform, at the level, that y'all looking for, and they don't win games next season, then you go into the 27 draft looking to get a quarterback. That I understand. But don't triple dip and then go get another guy and bring him into this shit. What message does that send to your fans and to the quarterbacks that you have by bringing in another rookie, a high first round draft pick rookie? Makes zero sense. Use those picks to fill them holes in with your team. If you got to trade back and get more assets to fill in these holes with this team. But Browns are gonna be Browns. But it's your boy All Logic No Emotion. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be smooth. I'm gone. Peace.